Here's a question for you. Are some people just born frugal? Like, is there this frugal gene out there that makes some people naturally tighter with their wallets? Or is frugality something that you have to learn or pick up along the way? I'm Joy of Frugal Creative Living, and if you've ever wondered why some people seem effortlessly thrifty while others seem to struggle, or maybe you're trying to live more frugally yourself, then you definitely want to keep watching this video. So are some people born frugal by nature? Some people do seem to have a natural inclination towards frugality, perhaps shaped by personality traits or their genetics. You know, that 4-year-old kid that takes that dollar from their grandpop, and instead of begging their mom to take them to the store to buy candy, they immediately go to their bedroom unprompted and puts that dollar in that hidden place in their room so that they can save it for something special. That kid may have an innate proclivity for saving and setting priorities for their finances. But then you have those people where frugality was just so much a part of their upbringing that they can't tell whether they were born that way or if it was just from being nurtured in it. You can have a different 4-year-old kid who might do the same exact thing with their money, but it's because grandpop always says,
"Now you put that away for something special."
He was being taught not to spend it right away. So growing up in a household where money was tight or where financial habits were openly discussed, it can often lead to a person having a frugal mindset in adulthood. Now, for many people, frugality can just develop over time out of necessity or a strong belief system, like valuing sustainability or financial independence or biblical principles. But is there a way to tell the difference? Are there indicators that show whether a person has a natural tendency towards frugality or if they learned it along the way? And does it make a difference in how frugality gets played out in an individual's life? It can be a little bit tricky to tell if your frugality is innate or if it's learned, but there are some indicators that might help you to know. And one of them is your ease and comfort with frugality. So people who are naturally frugal often feel completely comfortable with frugal habits. They might make frugal choices without hesitation, even when they have plenty of resources. But then those who had to learn it might be a little bit more methodical. They might be weighing out each choice carefully and then possibly showing a little bit more flexibility depending on their circumstances. Another one is their focus on control. So naturally frugal people might be more resistant to spending regardless of their situation. For them, saving might feel like an extension of who they are. And people who have to learn frugality may be a little bit more driven by specific goals, seeing it as a means to an end. So they might be more inclined to splurge when they reach a goal or treat themselves occasionally. Another is the emotional attachment to frugal habits. So a naturally frugal person might have really strong emotional connections to their habits, and they might feel uncomfortable or even stressed by the idea of excess spending. For them, frugality can feel more like maybe a moral or personal value. But then for those who learned frugality, they may view it more as a strategy and less as a core identity trait. They're often a little bit more practical, adjusting their frugal habits as their financial situations change. Another is the level of frugality in relationships and social settings. A naturally frugal person often will maintain their habits regardless of social influences and might find frugality be a consistent lifestyle choice across their relationships. Whereas people who learned frugality might relax their habits a little bit more when in social settings or when they're around others who aren't as frugal, since their habits are more based on situations than identity. Another is the reactions to financial windfalls. So naturally frugal people might put windfalls like a bonus or gift or tax refund directly into savings or investments without even thinking about splurging. And their immediate response might often be to preserve or grow their assets. Whereas a learned frugal might save a significant portion, but still allocate a small part for enjoyment. And they might view a windfall as a rare opportunity for a treat while still staying mostly on track with their savings goals. Another one is the focus on quality versus price. So somebody who's naturally frugal from birth may focus more on the lowest price and maybe even be willing to make sacrifices on quality if it helps them to save some money. And they often appreciate bargains just for the sake of thrift, like it's just fun. But people who've had to learn frugality might prioritize quality and durability over the absolute lowest price. Their goal is often value, and they see paying a bit more as a long-term saving strategy. Another indicator is the openness to trying new ways to save. So those with innate frugality often stick to just tried and true methods that they're comfortable with, and they show a little less interest in exploring trendy hacks or new strategies. But people who adopted frugality later might be more open to experimenting with new savings methods like cash back apps or bulk buying or DIY projects, since their habits are still evolving. The last indicator is a person's comfort level with uncertainty and risk. So natural frugals usually will have a low tolerance for financial risks and prefer safer options like stable savings accounts or conservative investments so that they can preserve their resources. Whereas learned frugals might be a little bit more comfortable with calculated risks, especially if they believe it's going to pay off in the long term. So for example, they might invest in self-improvement or entrepreneurship and see it as an investment rather than an expense. All of these patterns can have some overlap, and people might blend different approaches, but these indicators can provide some insights into whether frugality is a core personality trait or a learned behavior. What are some ways to adopt a frugal mindset if it's not natural to you? Now, if you are fully aware that frugality doesn't come naturally to you, there are still many ways to adopt a frugal mindset and make it enjoyable and sustainable for you. And some of those things are to, one, set a clear financial goal. You can just start with a goal that inspires you, whether it's saving for a trip or paying off debt or building an emergency fund. Having clear goals gives frugality a purpose and can help you to see your savings as progress towards something meaningful rather than just cutting back. Another way is to challenge yourself with fun, frugal experiments. If you turn frugality into a game with monthly challenges like a no spend week or grocery budget challenge, those types of experiments just help you to try out different frugal tactics and can make saving feel a little less like a sacrifice and more like a fun test of your creativity. Try reframing frugality as a reward rather than seeing it as something that limits you. Try to focus on the freedom it brings, like being able to handle emergencies without stress or having more financial security for future goals. Shifting your perspective can just help you appreciate the benefits of living frugally. Keep track of small wins. Set up a system to track the savings that you're accumulating from your frugal choices, like in a spreadsheet or an app, because seeing how small savings add up over time can just help to keep you motivated, especially when it starts to make a noticeable difference towards your goals. Learn DIY skills for both frugality and for fun. Skills like cooking. Just try to replicate your favorite dish from your favorite restaurant, or learn some basic repair skills. Learn a crafting skill of some kind. Not only is it going to save you money, but it can also make frugality feel more empowering and help to unleash your creativity. Plus, with DIY projects, you're usually going to end up with a unique and personalized result that you would never find in any store, and it often makes for great conversation starters. Surround yourself with frugal inspiration. Follow frugal living blogs, YouTube channels, or social media pages that offer tips and ideas for saving. Because hearing from others who enjoy frugality can help you get into that mindset and discover techniques that resonate with you. Practice mindful spending. If you just practice pausing before each purchase to ask yourself if it aligns with your goals and if you genuinely need or want it, this habit can help you build awareness and make more intentional choices without feeling deprived. Celebrate your progress and treat yourself from time to time. If you reward yourself for hitting savings goals with small treats that bring you joy, like a movie night at home or a nice meal, nothing too expensive, but just allowing yourself these small indulgences can help make the journey more enjoyable. And then reflect on your financial progress. Every month or so, just review how far you've come, whether it's paying off your debt, building a savings, or just feeling more confident about your finances. Reflecting on your progress reinforces the positive outcomes of your frugality and just helps you to stay motivated. These strategies can make frugality feel more natural and rewarding and help you ease into the mindset, even if it's not your default. So whether your frugality is natural for you or it's something that you're working on, just remember there's no right way to be frugal. It's all about finding what works best for you and enjoying the journey along the way. Frugality isn't about restriction. It's about creating freedom and security and joy in the little things. Let me know in the comments if you gained some insights or had any aha moments about yourself while watching this video. And if you found it helpful, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone else you think might find it useful. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And check out this playlist here for tons of frugal living tips. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.